YouTube. So you probably remember a while back that I went and picked up that gold Silverado for another project. Well, this weekend, this weekend we finally went and got started on that. It's been held up a little bit because we've been waiting on some parts from Holly and stuff that's on back order. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you the truck. We already stripped it down. Got the cab on the ground there. We took that off just to get to everything pretty easy. So this is what we got it for. So I got the engine, trans, and transfer case and everything there. So we're gonna get this ripped out with the tractor, carry it on up, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna drop it in. So come on up this way. Yeah, I need to cut the grass. Alright, so this is what that motor and trans and everything is going to be going in. It's my buddy Trey from work. It's his old Jeep YJ, I believe a 1986 model. And like I said, we already started on it. We ripped the whole front end, ripped the motor and trans out, cleaned up the engine bay, stripped down the firewall to get it pretty down to bare bones, try to make the engine bay look real clean without all those vacuum lines and everything running everywhere. And I'm gonna run all new wiring and everything for it. But yeah, we got the engine bay cleaned up, looking nice. Did the inside, the fender wells and everything on the front end, so it'll look pretty good when it sits down in there. And here's the mounts. We got to go. Probably gonna haul it up to the shop today, get the motor in position, weld in those engine mounts there, and we'll be slapping her on together. So this is the project that I've been waiting on, that I picked that truck up about 2 months ago for. And I'm gonna update y'all along. Like I said, I didn't get too much video of us stripping it down and prepping the Jeep and everything for this. But if you can't get to this point by taking the old stuff out, you probably don't need to be trying to put an LS and doing a swap yourself anyways. But when we put the motor in, I'm gonna walk you through getting everything hooked up, running the fuel system and all that myself. We've just been in a race for time because he's only got a couple days. He took off work to give me a hand with pulling and putting the new motor in. But when I do all the stuff to actually get it running and everything, I'm gonna take y'all along because I'll be doing that myself. And that way, if you're interested in doing this to your Jeep, you know how you can hook everything up. But I'm waiting on him to get here this morning. We're going to get it loaded up on the trailer, carried on up to the shop, because I think we're going to get some rain today. And try to get the mount in there and the engine bolted up. Get too much video of actually getting it in there, but the motor's actually sitting in the Jeep now. Again, this is where I cleaned up all the firewall, all that vacuum lines and wiring and everything that runs on these Jeeps for the factory. I cleaned all that off. I'm gonna go back and wire up all the chassis stuff. All the headlights and stuff is in this harness here that goes up to the firewall, so all that's there. But there's a few other wires that come up here that I'm probably have to rerun to hook everything up so everything works on the inside. But I'm gonna simplify it and delete all the wires out the harness that is not needed for the engine. But let's show you what we got here. So the engine mounts and stuff we got is from Holly. So got those put in, welded in. I mean, there's tons of room to fit the LS into these Jeeps. Everything's real easy to get to and work on if you need to. So did the same thing on this side here. So those engine mounts work real good. Tons of clearance on the steering shaft. It had the exhaust manifolds on it, and there was tons of room clearance for the stock manifolds. We're going to try and get some headers to put on this. Let me go underneath real quick. Alright, so here we did have to clearance the stock pan just for the transfer case, because the Silverado's transfer case is cocked at an angle down. So we did clearance that. We'll probably go back later, take a plate weld, and just make it bend around it to clean that up a little bit. But right now we just cut it away to where it clearances it. Also put a hole here to get to our transmission mount bolts. So we got trans mount bolts there with just like a little mount we made. So what we did, basically just took some box tubing and made a mount. I set an angle finder on the engine, set it up at the angle I wanted, and used box tubing and welded it together just to make a mount. But yeah, underneath here everything's pretty well clearance and in the open, so it'd be easy to work on if you ever have to. Probably take this drive shaft here, get it extended, make it go up to the front axle. See here, this one back here, we're swapping an 8.8 rear end into the back, so but it almost comes pretty close. If you are trying to reuse your stock drive shaft, for the stock rear end on these, probably just shorten it about an inch to a half an inch and throw on the 4L60's yoke, and it'll slide right into the back to hook that up. So that's pretty well everything underneath here. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, a little bit of welding and fabrication, but simple to get to this point. That's all the wiring and parts and stuff I got in here. Alright, so transmission sits right in the trans tunnel. Where's the shift fork at? Alright, so you got the shift linkage for the four-wheel drive right here. And then the trans shift linkage is right down there. So that goes right together. This is actually the cover from the Silverado for the four-wheel drive shifter. And it actually molds perfectly to the Jeep's trans tunnel. So we'll end up just doing the screws and stuff to hold it straight there to it. Slice a little hole for the shifter itself there here on the side, right above that shift linkage, and then the four-wheel drive will be right there to the side. Then we got the pan that actually bolts in here from the factory, and we got a gate shifter that's going to go right in the middle there to actually shift the transmission with the new cable and everything, so that'll hook right up. He's wanting to do a full cluster redo, whatever, with a nice gauge set, so that'll handle all the gauges in the dash and just update it. A lot of the electrical and stuff behind this dash I'm probably end up redoing just because it looks horrible back there. And yeah, that's pretty much the start of it. So if you're interested in seeing more of the Jeep or whatever, like I said, I didn't get too much video because me and him was kind of hammering down on it, and it had took up a lot of time trying to set up, record, and stop all the time to get different angles. And like I said, it's pretty straightforward as far as that part. You can't mess it up too bad. But I will be going through and getting actual detailed video on y'all and doing the fuel system on it, probably doing some of the wiring on it. I'll walk y'all through that, and just other things, hooking up transcooler, hooking up the power steering, hooking up the cooling system. I'll walk you through all the technical side of getting it to work in here. So if you're really interested in seeing more of the old Jeep YJ, stay tuned to the channel. like, subscribe, and I'll have more content coming out on this. And I hope y'all enjoy the builds. All right, y'all have a good one.